here. You're managing 2 bars.
Yes.
You opened up Ruby in 2007, 6?
Yes, 2007. Yeah.
How did you join that boat?
And that's a really funny story, because Adeline, she came to Denmark, and she went to K-Bar to be the bar manager there. She had a job. Rasmus, the now husband, didn't have a job. So at that point I worked as a bar manager at the Fox Hotel, as we called it at that point. And I hired Rasmus as a bartender, mostly for the lobby bar. He's a great bartender, it's a great experience, but you know, he was a bit rusty behind the bar.
So you actually started out with you hiring him?
Yes. Okay. And then, you know, then he opened up a hotel, and I said I was looking for a job, but he didn't apply me, and I became kind of angry with Rasmus, saying, like, you know me, and he was like, yeah, I'll show you. So I think we watched a game, it was Liverpool against Nottingham Forest or something, having a pint, and he said, like, come with me, and he had some keys, and then he walked me all the way down to Nybrogade, where Ruby now is, and then he said, like, come on in, and he opened the door, and we walked into our office space that was empty, looking, like office spaces look. And then they said, like, I didn't hire you because you need to be hired here. And I was like, okay. And I still remember him trying to, with his arm, saying, like, the bar is gonna be here, there's gonna be seats here, and I was like, okay. And he said, like, there's no guarantee, there's, we'll be paid by the hour, and then we'll see how it goes. If you trust in the idea, I'll hire you. And I was not the first employee. There was actually another guy called Johan. So I was the second employee. So I worked there, and I think, remember, 4 months down the road, I became bar manager with Adeline, working in the bar. And then I was so proud. And yeah, I still remember the first night where we had 3 guests. The Saturday was better. We had 6, so that's a good start.
Yeah, because I've heard stories about that back then when there really wasn't nothing going on, and then I remember Rasmus when I was working at Ruby, he told me that one Friday night he was in the door, and all of a sudden it just kicked off. It just happened.
Yeah, I still remember. I mean, we had a record taking. Well, you have record takings if you have 6 guests, and then you have 8 guests, of course. So I just remember how we felt, and we had a shot of the José Cuerva Reserva de la Familia, which was one of the most expensive spirits in the back bar we had at that point. It was like, we felt so lucky, and of course, looking later on, I totally understand, because we made kind of, not break even, but we made the money that would get us close to paying the rent.
I have to say that some of the other guys that I've interviewed and talked to about the old days, as we can call them, they all mention Ruby as being some sort of a milestone within the industry, sort of being that place that took the industry and the business to that next level, that international level. Where did that come from? It very much came from the owners, Rasmus and Adeline, because their approach was totally new to me. It was a very professional approach. Everything was kind of, there was rules for everything, but not rules in a bad way. It was just like, this was a decision made, this is how we're going to do it. Of course, there's simple rules like no drinking behind the bar, which we were used to at that point, but, simple rules about there was no staff discount. There was staff discount, but no bartender's discount, which was, I still remember, having to, people were used to being from the industry coming in saying, hi Nick, and then you would give him nothing. The whole system behind the bar, how to run a bar, was so much more put into systems, so we worked a lot with systems. And then ambitions were super high. I mean, we had the simple feature of saying that there is kind of that could be discussed, an upper limit how good a Manhattan can be, but there's no upper limit towards how high the service standard could be, and how the service on that Manhattan could be. So that was kind of what we worked out from. I mean, some simple drinks like Negroni you can make at home and you can easily do it, but you go to a bar and order it because you want the whole service experience and you want to sit down in nice environment, look at something. look at beautiful people and beautiful bartenders, and and then they have an experience of something unique, and that's all about being there for the guest all the time, which was keeping busy at all time, making sure everybody was okay. It's all about a small standard like walkarounds, which is something we still work a lot on and trying to teach all our managers. And I mean, every staff should see when they walk in and that there's a light bulb missing, there's something wrong. We have to spot all these small mistakes, so it makes it it's so many details, but it just means that we're on the toes, and we make sure that nobody comes in the door without us greeting them, or leaving without we saying goodbye, and so it's small things. They had a very professional approach, and of course it was a game changer, because they were not brought up by the same specs and ideas and products that we had in Denmark at that point. So they came with a completely different idea.